What's up? It's your boy Mark Coley. Welcome back to me. Welcome. Let's do that again. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm noticing that as I get older, I fumble over more words. It's like, is my brain moving so fast that my mouth can't catch up or keep up and articulate what I'm trying to say? But anywho, I saw this video. We're gonna hop right into the conversation. I saw this video the other day. I cannot remember the gentleman's channel, but I watch a lot of his content, and he typically gathers videos like from TikTok or different platforms of different viewpoints of the topic that he's going to discuss. And I think he talked about homophobia in his last video, the one that I saw. But in this particular video, he also highlights, I think it's this guy. I did not go back and research the page, the name, or any of that. But in the video, there's this kid, and I think he's maybe 19, 20, and you can hear his father in the background pretty much just fussing and telling him, like certain things would not be acceptable in his household. It's just a lot of that energy, and he used that video as a you know a, a thinking a thought piece, or a think piece rather, to explain and explore the topic of homophobia. He made a really valid point, which is going to lead to my conversation. He talked about the fact that if you come out and your parents or your guardians are not supportive of that decision or that particular way of expression, that you should wait until you have the means to take care of yourself before potentially coming out. If you already know your parents or your guardians or whoever is in charge of taking care of you is not for it, it's probably safer and best if you just wait until you have the means to live on your own, do your own thing, and walk in your own truth. With that being said, this is a conversation that is probably going to be a bit controversial, because I know that a lot of people probably had really horrible experiences when they came out. Not that my experience was just this, hi, we're going to throw you a party. Yay, we're so excited for you. It wasn't that. But there was tension, there was confusion, there was, it was what a lot of people experience. I just believe that my experience wasn't on the end of the spectrum of abusiveness and like just some crazy stuff, right? It wasn't that, but it wasn't necessarily embraced or accepted. And so it took me a while to really come to this point of understanding. And I totally get it if you're not there, if you don't want to be there, if you have no contact with the people who maybe said things that hurt you. I'm just not in that place in my life anymore. I'm a person that seeks to find healing. I'm a person that seeks to move on, because I understand the magnitude of carrying resentment and carrying pain. It does the other person no good. It really eats away at you, and you always have this chip on your shoulder where you're having to prove something to the people that you feel hurt you the most. And so with that being said, although I didn't have the best experience coming out, I learned later that when you come out, it's not just about you. And I think as a gay individual, you feel like the spotlight is just on you. Like, I'm coming out, this is my truth, I want to live in my truth, and I get it. We are the same, I get it. But we never really consider that, how that time frame before you came out, whatever the way was, whatever the method was that you came out, whether, you got found out, you came out, whatever the case may be, somebody said something. Do you remember that tension in your soul before that? That the tension of saying your truth, speaking your truth, living in your truth. Do you remember how some of us, just speaking to those who can relate, contemplated living a life where maybe you didn't tell people the truth about your sexuality, because you really just did not feel safe. You really didn't know what the next chapter is going to look like after you said your truth. Do you remember that period of time? And so sometimes when we're coming out, we forget all of that, and we expect the person that is hearing this information to take it and to respond with love, with all these things. And oftentimes that's not the case. Some people do have that experience. Kudos to those who do, but most people don't have those experiences. Most people have bad experiences. Most people have uncomfortable experiences. My point, though, is to say, I would like for you to extend gratitude to those who've had to learn a different version of you that they may or may not have been prepared for. I want you, as the gay black man, gay black woman, to understand that no matter how you shape it, people had expectations of your life. Whether you say this is my life, it ain't got really nothing to do with sexuality. People just have expectations of your life. We have a son right now. We are already talking about, oh, he's probably going to do this. He's probably going. So those conversations start to create expectations within the individual, right? So that means that if he grows up and says, well, I want to be a butcher. Well, that's not what we expected. So there is a level of grief that comes with the expectations of your guardians, your parents, and the people that loved you that you are breaking. I'm not saying that's not life. I'm not saying that you should not come out or speak your truth because of that. What I'm saying is understand that that is also taking place in the mind of the other individual. It's like, so, a lot of times we don't extend grace to those people. And I can hear people right now saying those, because, if that's your truth, if that's your experience, that's cool. I'm not here to tell you that you can't have that experience, but eventually it's going to have to be something within you that relinquishes that hurt, that pain. Doesn't mean that you got to start talking to those individuals, have a relationship with those individuals, be around. I'm not saying any of that because I don't know your experience. But what I do understand is, just as it was hard for me to come out, sometimes it's hard for people to embrace a version of you that they weren't prepared for. Also, let's be clear. It wasn't like most of us, I'm speaking to the people that can resonate. It wasn't like you just was, how do I say? You were going along with the program as well. Most of us was doing the thing. You were dating the girls. You were trying to fit in. I understand. You're young. You're supposed to do that. That's normal. So when you come out with this news, I know we want to immediately be embraced, as we should be. You should, but we're dealing with humans. You are a human too. They are a human also. And so this conversation, or this video rather, is more so about extending grace to the people that have to learn to love a different version of you. Now, some people will reject that. That's okay. Some people will embrace it and grow to understand. There are some situations. I was watching a video the other day where the guy, he essentially said the same thing is being Carlton. He said the same thing. Like, there was issues with his mom at first because, like, she wasn't for it. She wasn't with it. And, of course, they had conversations. They talked about it. And then he said something in that documentary. He said, I had to allow her space to understand and to grow. He's like, it took me years to come out and be comfortable enough to say it out loud. And I'm expecting her to get with the program, understand, love me, embrace me overnight. I was like, bro, you said a word. I had already, I've done the work within me, and I understand what he was saying, but he articulated it in such a way. It's like, it took me years, months to get comfortable saying this out loud, to live in my truth. And I'm expecting people that love me to overnight get it, grab it, and pick it up. Now, Yes, some people have horrible situations where people go too far. They demonize you. They do all the things. And I'm not telling you it's going to be easy if your desire is to forgive and let go. It's not going to be easy because you have battle scars. You remember what the person said. You remember how they made you feel. But I will say there are some situations where people genuinely don't want to lose you out of their lives. They're just having a hard time understanding. They're having a hard time breaking away from the narrative of what they thought your life was going to be. They're having a hard time readjusting, reimagining what things will look like. They're having a hard time. So are you big enough, brave enough, strong enough, human enough to walk in their shoes for a second? Are you? Can you resonate with that? I know you can. Will you? That's your decision. I'm not saying that there aren't still uncomfortable situations, conversations that take place. We're human. But I will say I believe that the people who love me the most have made adjustments, and they've gone back to their beliefs and understanding, and because of their love for me have challenged them because they don't want to lose me. That tells me that they love me. Love is long suffering. Love will find a way. And ultimately that's what we need more of in this world. People who say, I don't understand, but I love you enough to attempt to. I don't get it, but I love you enough to attempt to. Are the people in your life like that? I don't know. But if they are, meet them halfway. Please. I'm not telling you to deny yourself. I'm not telling you to do any of those things. But I'm telling you that if people are attempting to love you through their biases, through their not understanding, through all of that, can you meet them? You know, one of the slogans for queer and the LGBTQ plus IA community, hopefully I'm getting all them alphabets correctly, is, especially when there's marriage, love wins. Well, does it win for the people who are just having a little harder time to accepting it? It's almost like we want immediately. And I'm going to be clear. I'm going to just say it in this video. There are still parts of my sexuality, like when it comes to different issues within the queer community at large, sometimes I'm confused. Can I be real? Sometimes I see stuff on YouTube and different places, and I'm like, okay, so you like her, but you change your sex, and now he is referred to she, and she is referred to he, but y'all are queer, but y'all also are straight. Because sometimes I'm confused, and I'm a part, per se, of the community. And so if I'm confused being a part of the organization, or not organization, the organism, I would think a person who doesn't have the same experiences as I would be confused also. The goal is to seek understanding, not just for you to be understood. Ooh. The goal is for you to seek understanding, not just because if it was all about just you being understood, then you don't have an opportunity to understand what they thought. You know, with my godparents, I knew that my uncle, who was my godfather, when I first moved with them, when my grandmother passed, you know, young, I just had started ninth grade. Girls had started calling me, and I could tell in his eyes he was proud. You know, I knew that he had dreams for me. You know, that's my boy right here. he about to go Mac. He like immediately going to ninth grade, girls calling me, kind of, like, you about to have your girlfriend, very supportive, going to play sports, like he envisioned something. He did not directly say this out of his mouth, but I know he did based on his actions. And so when his godson, his nephew, came out as gay, it took him back. It did something to, I immediately noticed a difference in our relationship, and I knew he didn't know how to communicate what all he was feeling. I didn't either. I couldn't communicate what I didn't know and didn't understand. Like, we're from the rural South, so all you're hearing is wrong, wrong, wrong. You know what I'm saying? So a person that you love is telling you this is who that's hard. This ain't the YouTube internet age, and you're not seeing gayness out and open, and when you are seeing it, you're seeing it one dimensional. You're seeing the hyper feminine man. And so when somebody that you love comes and tells you that they're going to be gay, you just see one variation of gayness. Oh, that's what you're going to be dressing in heels. And it's nothing against anybody dressing heels, do makeup, none of that. Just saying, that's when you hear gay, especially with gay black men, you think of one dimensional. That's why there's such a, I think, tension around DL or masculine presenting men, because it's like, you gay? It's kind of like that. Like, what you doing gay? You too fine. You too handsome. You work out. You got it going. Because there's an overrepresentation of one version. It's just like, when black people are educated and can speak clearly and proper, all these things, it's kind of like people are taken back, like, you. It's kind of like, because there's an overrepresentation of ignorance. There's an overrepresentation of ghetto superstar. Like, it's just overrepresented. There is a piece of us all. There's a little ghetto. There's a piece of us all that can dive into different worlds and different energies. But you know what I'm saying. I'm saying sometimes it's an overrepresentation of one thing. So, when my godparents, they only saw one representation, so they didn't know what to expect. What does this look like? And so, that just uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for everybody. Uncomfortable for me, uncomfortable for them. But I will say that they have made, I believe, leaps and bounds to love me, to support me, to stand with me. Even if they don't necessarily agree, even if they don't necessarily fully understand, when they call, they ask about my partner, they ask about our kids, they come over. I don't feel that they acting weird. When I go back home, he comes with me. My entire family, all aspects of my family, honors him, respects our kid, respects me. And if they acting funny, it's literally behind my back, because I don't know nothing about it. They don't show any signs of treating me different. They come over. They respect me. And there are some times that I stand and I'm humbled by it, because it's like, I live my authentic truth. I'm not hiding. I'm not doing this, and I have people that love me. And I wish that for every gay black man, gay black woman. I wish that for you. And I know life can sometimes deal a bad card and you not have those individuals around you. But if that is the case for you, I want you to let them go. Not in the sense of you gotta, be pissed off with them, hold resent. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying let them go, in terms of they're human just like you're human. And I know you're saying, well, if it was me, I would. Well, it's not you. It's them. And they have their own journey to work out. And that part of you, your coming out, your experience, your existence, is a part of their journey. But maybe your story, your whatever, wasn't the thing that was going to send them in the path of enlightenment. And that's okay too. Because sometimes some people are to water the seed. Some people provide the sun. Some people provide the soil. I don't know where you played in their journey, but for the people ideally for the people who have those individuals in your life that are trying, your mom, your dad, your aunt, your cousin, and you know that they don't fully understand, you know that they're having a hard time, meet them halfway. Meet them halfway. Meet them halfway. I'm not saying go back in the car. I'm not saying any of that before you think I'm, you know, like I'm not saying. I'm just saying meet them halfway. Have a sense of emotional IQ. What they ain't doing for me, I know. It's cool. That's why healing starts with you. That's why growth starts with you. That's why maturity starts with you. That's why emotional intelligence starts with you. That's why it starts with you, because you're gonna be the example. You the one. You know? So, to whom much is given, much is required. I think that there is a power in being a gay black man. There is a power there. And so I believe you've been given much. So there may be a little bit more required of you. And that's cool. Cool. We got this. Unlock in. All right. To the next video. Peace.